Today we're going to get on the BMW F650gs, and I'm just going to go over how to do the plugs. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do if you're working on your bike, you're going to take all three covers off. Then you're going to take the air cleaner box off, which is 2 screws here, remove the battery, and there's like 3 screws underneath them. And then this all comes off. You disconnect a couple of lines and that's all there is to it. You're gonna have access to the plugs right in here. These are the coils. You're gonna twist these. This one you're gonna twist to the left. The other one on the outside, you're gonna twist to the right and you pull them off. We're gonna go ahead and just take out that other plug, and it's wicked easy to get in from the top. Basically, you're gonna need this setup right here. Ratchet, extension, flex joint or swivel joint, and a 18mm socket. And you're gonna go in right from the top. It's the best way to do it. It really is not that difficult to do from the top, and it's actually, even though you have to take all this off, it's actually worth it to get these plugs out. I don't see how anybody can do them from the side. So once your plugs are loose, reach in there, grab them, and there's the old plug. Now these plugs are hard to find. I've been looking around. Nobody actually carries these in my area, so I had to do a special order on these plugs. But overall, looking at this plug, it doesn't really look that bad. I could probably get away with putting these back in, but since I am going through the bike, and these are, you know, they're fairly cheap. I think they're like $5 a piece. But anyway, that's the plug. Now some of these plugs do have washers, or they're supposed to have a washer, a metal gasket. Oh, there it is. All right, so make sure you get the gasket off with the plug. All right, very important, you want to make sure you gap the plugs to the right gap. On these engines, it calls for a gap of 0.6 to 0.7 millimeters, or 0.02 to 0.03 inches. I do like to run a little bit of anti-seize on the spark plugs. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I don't know if they recommend this or don't recommend this, but I've always done it, so I'm going to do it on this one. Just a small amount, doesn't take a whole lot. So anti-seize is on there, they're already gapped, and we're going to go put them in. All right, so it's just the opposite. Backside in first. I'm gonna try and start this by hand. I can't get my fingers in there. I have to get the wrench down in there. All right, and just do it by hand, just to get it started. Do not cross thread these. Be very, very careful not to cross thread these threads. All right, once you know it's in there, just tighten it down by hand for now. Take the other one, make sure you have the gasket on there. Get that one started, because you can reach that one by hand. All right, just one thing I want to tell you is, you see this socket's moving a lot around the spark plug. This is not a spark plug socket, it's just a regular 18mm socket. When you tighten these down with this kind of a socket, it doesn't have the rubber piece on the inside. So you got to be careful when you tighten down. You don't want to break the insulator on the spark plug. Now we're going to tighten the spark plug to 20 Newton meters. Once you torque down to 20, you're going to put the inside coil on first. Just check it, make sure everything looks okay. All right, so there's the coil. You're going to push it all the way in onto the spark plug. There we go. And now you're going to have to turn this onto the mount. And that mount keeps it in place. Now the outside one, again, check it, make sure it's good inside, everything looks fine. See, these are the pieces that you lock into the mount. It actually slides right into that section. So you turn it. So this one turns outwards. So again, like the other one, we're going to slide it up inside there. Bring it up enough to clear the spark plug. It's kind of a tight fit here. And we're going to get it down onto the plug. So push it down and lock it in. All right, so we're gonna take the pliers and we're gonna turn the coil without hopefully damaging anything. So we gotta get that into the bracket and turn it right into there until it's locked in. And there we go. And that's pretty much it for the spark plugs. It's really not that difficult. This is a good time while you're in here to check your carburetor, or throttle body, I should say. That one's not so bad, but I am going to get some mass airflow sensor cleaner, and I'm going to clean that thing right out. It's got a little gunk in there and stuff. Could probably use a good cleaning. This is not part of the spark plug thing, but hey, I got it all apart. Might as well just clean this up. Doesn't hurt. Damn, it's a lot of crap in there. Alright, so once you're done with the carburetor, if you are going to clean the carburetor, you bring the air box over and you're going to hook up this line back in. Line up the air box with the throttle body or carburetor, whatever you want to call it. It's actually more of a throttle body than anything. Alright, push that down on there. Line the front back in place. Make sure your wires and everything are in the right spot. Make sure you hook up your wiring. If you disconnected any wiring, which there is a wire here on the right side. And then you're going to put the 3 bolts in the battery tray and the 2 bolts in the back. Make sure you start everything by hand and then tighten everything down. Alright, just to let you know, these bolts back here do have rubber on them to make it easier to tighten these up without messing up the rubbers. Spray some silicone on it. Battery back in, hook it all up, and then once you're done with everything, I would say run it before you put the covers on, just to make sure everything's good to go. And then of course you put your covers on. I'm not installing the battery today, nor am I putting the covers back on, because if you follow me, you know I'm still working on this bike. I still got quite a few things to do. If you want more information on this bike, subscribe. We'll have more videos coming out. Alright everybody, we'll leave you with that. Take care, God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.